Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video, and today I'm taking a look at the Ninth Doctor issue 4. Now, from what I remember, the last issue I reviewed in regards to the Ninth Doctor was issue 3, I hope anyway, because I did go to the comic book shop kind of like issue 4. And 5 were there of the Ninth Doctor one. I was like, are you sure about that? But yeah, you've got the TARDIS thing there for Titan Comics. You got TARDIS there looking beautiful. I love this cover. You know, you got this very stylized, very just beautiful sort of imagery that kind of reminds me of Listen, you know, that bit where the Doctor's on the TARDIS and he's like, shh, listen, or whatever, but with the Ninth Doctor it just looks so surreal, you know, and especially with this massive sun and beam and then all this sort of explosion. Then you got the Doctor Who logo there, Ninth Doctor, Doctor Who the writers and artists are ongoing series or adventure with the Ninth Doctor. Advertisement for Torchwood. Other stuff, advertisement for this thing that's like the Four Doctors thing, but it's with Sidemen. I haven't picked any of those up, so sorry about that. As I do recall someone mentioning that once on a previous video. And a bit of a next time thing, which is a bit odd, but the cover of the next issue and that. And as I say, of this recording, I've got both issue 4 and 5, and I've just literally read this one. What's on sale from Titan Comics this month? All of different variant covers of this issue, which I'm fine with just getting the standard one because I adore that one. The graphic novels you can get, issue variants of the next issue, and a bit of a synopsis on that. This bit, which is a transformed part 1 of 2, writer, artist, colorist, letterist, so on. I usually prefer these to be right at the beginning, and then there's obviously the cliffhanger, which I'm not going to show you. Then there's the bio on the Doctor, Rose, Captain Jack, and what happened previously, which is extremely helpful considering this is a beginning of a new story. Issues 1 to 3 were very much just its own little story arc thing, but then again, the end of issue 3, you kind of get a cliffhanger, so it's a bit of an odd one. Like, that story's finished, but there's a character, and then they recur in these two, I'm assuming, which is obviously Mickey. Spoiler alert, so yeah, Mickey's back. Granted, it's Mickey from sort of the end of the Russell T Davies era, so he's like a freelance agent type character, and the Ninth Doctor's a bit of a douche to Mickey, if you remember in Series 1. Such an interesting dynamic here, and a dynamic that I'd never actually thought of seeing here, and that I think we've all just logically thought maybe this Mickey but with a future Doctor, because, you know, the future version of Mickey being with a future Doctor would make more logical sense. But then again, you know, considering Doctor Who's a show about time travel, why wouldn't it make sense to have, the future Mickey from the end of Russell T Davies' run meet the older Doctor? And it's funny because, it's kind of cool because there's a lot of bits here where he's very much on about, I don't like this version of you, and it's quite interesting to see how other people can just like much like the fans, characters within the context of this universe can like certain versions of the Doctor more than others, and I found that quite interesting. I quite like a lot of these panels, which are very action orientated, and that it feels very much like a Marvel comic with the amount of action. And can I just say, whoever did the art for Rose, she is just looking stunning. She looks absolutely beautiful. Like, of all of the drawings / iterations of Rose I've seen, she looks beautiful here. Like glisteningly beautiful, and whereas from what I recall previously, she just looked alright, you know. She looked like who she was supposed to be, and very well, and it was very good style. But what I mean is, in the context of this, it makes sense for her to look beautiful, because there's even a bit where there's this, like, meta-human of sorts. It's not a meta-human, but it does feel very much Marvel-esque, but with Doctor Who, which I do love, actually, as a fan of Marvel comics as well as the Doctor Who ones. You know, I love this sort of idea that these people are becoming, like, superheroes and stuff, and then there's the cliffhanger that you find out about a certain thing. This felt very James Bond-esque as well, with the action of as well, and you know, with the fact that there's a lot of bits here with, like, news reporting panels and stuff. So it felt very big scope, like it had a big scope and that. There's quite a bit of humour here and there as well, you know. The Doctor using the Sonic quite a bit, which didn't actually annoy me that much. Mainly just for scanning all these different characters who felt very... well, not so much developed, but very much like they had a role in the comic book. You know, they didn't just feel shoehorned in there for no apparent reason, like with the Torchwood issue 1. I felt like all those characters, excluding the main ones we knew from Torchwood, felt shoehorned in there, whereas this just felt organic, like it was... like these characters were already here prior to... you know, the Doctor, Captain Jack, and Rose being here, and we've stumbled across them instead of these characters already being here and them stumbling across our main protagonists, which is what it felt like with Torchwood. And then she's got powers. Captain Jack looks a bit weird here, to me anyway. I don't know about other people, but he's sort of drawn... I can't remember if there's another panel earlier, but he kind of looks... yeah, here maybe. He kind of looks like he's drawn more like he's been in Torchwood, like Torchwood-esque than how he would have looked in Series 1 of Doctor Who. So I'm a bit iffy about this. I'm also a bit iffy about the fact that this is only, or seems to be maybe, a two-part, sort of two-issue sort of story, which is a bit of an odd one, because I felt like the previous one, if you remember, I felt like that kind of dragged a bit, and that could have been maybe a two-part story, whereas this could easily be a three-part one. I'm very invested in where this is going, and again, it's very action-orientated. You know, there's a lot of visual things happening, which logically makes sense, and you kind of need that here. I think that was the problem, personally, with the previous story arc in regards to the Ninth Doctor one. The fact that the sort of, those ones were very much more dialogue heavy, whereas this feels way more visual, like visually heavy. You know, you've got more action and less words, I'd say. But then again, that might change in the next one, but I'd be fine with that because they've sort of established this world and what's happening. And that, and again, it makes sense to have it more visual than more dialogue-y, because again, here, especially in this medium, you're very much using visuals, or you should use visuals, and if you're a really good comic book, like people behind the scenes at doing comic books, then you will find a balance between words and visuals, you know, because at the end of the day, it's personal preference which you like, but I think you need to get that balance right, because again, sometimes it can feel like you have bought a comic book and you're reading way too much and not really looking at that much, or vice versa, you're looking at too much but you're not getting that many words, which is the case here. But as a dyslexic person who isn't the best at reading, I didn't find that too bad, and also when there were words there, they felt more powerful or important because of the fact that they were not always used, and that granted there was, as I say, quite a bit of comedy which was pretty good, and quite a bit of characterization slash, I don't know if I'd say banter, but to and fro, and you know, backing and forwardsness between Mickey and the Ninth Doctor, which I absolutely adored as a fan of both their characters. So yeah, thanks for watching. Comment, rate, and subscribe. And yeah, I definitely would check this out if you are a fan of the Ninth Doctor. Goodbye.